Botelho.
Okay, let me start by saying I'm happy to be here this evening. I got to say though, at my age, I'm happy to be most anywhere. Let me do what I heard various other people do, and that's to congratulate the teams, players, their coaches for getting here. It's not easy. I think there are 100 teams now, and only 8 are here. And I got to do this because I've gone through this for a lot of years. The Maricosta team, 21st seed, incredible that you're here. And I don't know the coach at Maricosta, but I want to say that my wife and I took the elevator down with 3 of your players, extremely polite guys. So I wish you guys well tomorrow. I also would like to congratulate the Hall of Fame inductees, Coach Smith, Coach Demian, the Rudimenton family, and the guy I'm here to introduce, Tony Amundsen. Tony's going to have a nice cheering section because his team is here, and I'll tell you why shortly. Tony played for me at Chabot College. Now, that almost didn't happen. JD over here talked about coaches, and one of the skills coaches need to have is being able to recognize talent. I was a coach. I'm supposed to be able to recognize talent. Tony comes to me in the spring of his senior year. I had seen him play in high school, and he tells me he wants to come to Chabot College and play. I tell him, I don't think so. Brilliant, right? I don't think you're going to get a lot of playing time here. And to show my further brilliance, I recommend to him that he go to another local community college. Incredible. He tells me, Coach, I don't want to go there because I want to win. Now that struck a note. I'm in an age, and I don't think that age has changed much these days, where players' main concern is their playing time, not necessarily whether they're on winning teams or not. He was a guy that told me that it was important for him to win. So we worked the deal. I told him, okay, you can come, but you got a red shirt your first year. I think they call it red shirting now. It means you sit out your first year, you don't play games, you practice with your team. And then you're ready to play the second year. So he did that. The second year comes around, and he plays. He played for a coach, again that was me, whose philosophy in terms of resting their best player during the game is a little different than most coaches. My philosophy was a simple one for my best player. You rest at halftime, and you rest after the game. While the game's going on, you play, because I'm trying to win. That's what he did. The average in his 2 years played 37 minutes a game. Now the game only takes 40 minutes. And I absolutely guarantee you those last 3 minutes that he didn't play, we were way ahead in those games. The games that were competitive and close, he was on the court all the time. All the time. Tony, during his career for me, scored 1,498 points. Chabot College started playing basketball in 1962. It's 22 now. Simple math tells me that's 60 years. No one has scored that many points at Chabot College in the 60-year history of Chabot College. Tony had an effective shooting percentage over his career of 54%. He made 123s and shot those at a rate of 45%. He had, although not being a point guard, he had 4.2 assists per game and only 1.3 turnovers per game. That's for his career. But more importantly, to him, and I know this to be true, he led his teams to 50 wins in the 2 years that he played for me, and 2 appearances in the state tournament, one of which culminated in the state championship game. After me, Tony played at the University of Pacific for Hall of Fame coach Bob Thomason. Bob's a good friend of mine. I called him and I asked him to describe for me Tony in 2 words. His 2 words were tough and competitive. And those 2 words were right on. He played professionally in Europe, came back to the Valley where he took up a coaching career, and has been doing that for, I think, the last 16 years here. What I'm going to say next was not part of what I originally had to say, but I need to say it anyhow because it's so remarkable and incredible to me. He's the coach at Clovis North High School. They played and are playing in the Division I Northern California Championships. There are 16 teams in Division I that played in that NorCal tournament. He was the 13th seed in that tournament, he and his team. Okay, they went to the 4th-seeded team, which was a Bay Area team, long ride from Clovis to the Bay Area, and beat the 4th-seeded team. They then went to Sacramento to play the 5th-seeded team. They beat the 5th-seeded team. They went to Atherton, which is in the Bay Area on the other side of the bay, where they played the number 1-seeded team. They beat that team. They got to the finals of the North Coast Section Division I. They had to go to San Francisco to play St. Ignatius. Guess what? They beat St. Ignatius. Incredible run. Incredible run. As soon as we're done here, he and his team are leaving for Sacramento, where they're going to spend the night. And tomorrow night, they have a date for the state championship game, Division I. I absolutely guarantee you, Tony Amundsen is the type of coach that every parent hopes that their kid gets a chance to play for. I was watching a game, getting back to what I'm here for. I was watching a game on TV. Jimmy Dykes was the color analyst for ESPN. And he said this about a player: what is invisible is sometimes what is most important. Say that again. What is invisible is sometimes what is most important. Now, Tony's going to be up here shortly, and you're going to look at it. Maybe 6'2", stretching it. He was a wing player. That's small for a wing player. Not a big leaper, I guarantee you. He may dispute this when he comes up here, but I never saw him in 3 years of practices, 2 years of games, dunk a basketball. Never saw. Again, he may dispute this. I don't know. But I'm talking basketball, Tony, not a tennis ball. Okay. Not the quickest guy on the court ever. Definitely not the quickest guy on the court ever, and he'll even own up to that. But the invisible, what you didn't see about Tony Amundsen, that's what was important. Tony Amundsen had a desire that was incredible to be a great player. He really, really wanted to be a great player. Secondly, and really important, he was willing to put in all the time and all the effort that was going to be needed to become that great player. Third, he had a level of self-confidence, a belief in his own abilities that I've never seen before in any player I've ever coached. And lastly, a thing that you didn't see is Tony Amundsen wanted to win. He wanted to kick your ass. So with that, I'm proud to be here to give this introduction to Tony. I'm proud to have had him as one of my players, one of my great players. And it's an honor for me to present him for induction into the Hall of Fame. Tony.
Good stuff, Coach. Good job. That was great. Great speech. Good stuff.
So, Coach,
Fails.
I didn't dunk a lot. As a matter of fact, I dunked so few times that I actually remember every dunk for when I played for you. So, anyways, just wanted to say thank you, Coach Botelho, for introducing me, and thanks for those kind words. Really appreciate that. I also want to congratulate the other inductees. It's quite an honor. I want to say thank you to the board for the California Community College Men's Basketball Coaches Association. When I found out that I was selected into the Hall of Fame, I had mixed emotions. I was elated and honored to be selected. Then I kind of got a little sad because it's a little reminder that I'm getting older. First, I'd like to introduce my family. They're all here. My wife, Michelle. Just wait, you can wave to them. My daughter, Katie. My son, McKay, is right over there. And then my other son, who's on our state championship, Clovis North team, Connor. Want to raise your hand? Our Northern State champion. Thank you guys for all your support throughout the years. It's kind of funny because I'm up here as a player, but I always have my coach's hat on because that's what I do these days. But I'm giving this speech from the aspect of being a player. So what I would like to do also is to thank my whole basketball team for wanting to come to this and being here with me and going on this journey with me in the Hall of Fame, and then also trekking up to the state championship. So congratulations to these young men for what they've done. I would like to echo what Coach Botelho talked about with all these teams that are here. I was in your shoes as a player, and to make it to the Final Eight is quite an accomplishment, and to go all the way to win it is even a bigger one. So good luck to you guys on your games to come, and enjoy the moment. It's a lot of fun. I'd like to thank my mom and dad. They're both up in heaven, but I'd like to thank them for giving me so many different opportunities in sports. When we were growing up, they had us playing everything: basketball, baseball, soccer, football, and they gave us every opportunity to do that. The unique thing about my parents is that they're deaf. So my actual first language was sign language. And I can't say that I'm the first person in my family to be inducted into the Hall of Fame because my dad was. He's actually in the Deaf Hall of Fame for basketball. He actually scored 63 points in one game and was a heck of a basketball player. And that's kind of where, I guess, the basketball runs in our blood, in our family. So thank you to my parents. My dad loved basketball so much that in our backyard he actually laid down concrete and put in a hoop. And me and my two brothers would go back there all the time and just play every single day. 21, and like the Rudican family said, a lot of them ended up in fist fights and us chasing after each other because they were just ultra competitive games. But again, that's how much love our family had for basketball. I'd also like to thank my two brothers, Tim and Ty Amundsen. They're my best friends in life. I would not have developed into the player I became without them. We had so many battles in the backyard. Many times the games couldn't finish because they were so intense. And and because of that, all of us were able to move on and play at the college level. My younger brother played at Chabot with me, which was a fun experience. And my older brother and my younger brother ended up going on and playing out at Fresno Pacific. And so again, that competitiveness, a love for basketball, and us being together drove us and made us the players that we became. I gray shirted 1 year, so I was at Chabot for 3 years, and I got to compete with some great teammates. Iron sharpens iron, and my teammates definitely made me a better player. One of my teammates is actually here, and I'd like to have him wave to everybody, John Jones. We've been friends for a long time, and now he's one of my assistant coaches. So thank you, John, for making me a better basketball player too.
Somebody had to go.
I'm very grateful for the relationships that we created and the lifelong friends. I would also like to thank my high school coach when I played at Newark Memorial, Vance Wahlberg. When my dad passed away, I was 16 years old, and Coach Wahlberg kind of became a father figure to me. He picked me up every morning at 5:30, and we would go and work on basketball skills. And at that time, he was a math teacher, and he would set up the table in the gym, and he would grade math papers while telling me what drill to do next. And I remember as soon as I was done, I'd say, "Okay, Coach, I'm done. What's next?" He'd get up real quick, show me the drill, and I'd be right on to the next drill. And then one time, we were going to have a camp coming up, and I told him I couldn't go. Because, again, my dad passed away, and we didn't have a whole lot of money, and the camp obviously cost money. So what he did is he had me babysit his kids and pick weeds in his backyard to earn the money to be able to go on the camps, and he paid for me. So again, thank you to Coach Wahlberg for that. He also was insistent too, I met with the Ohlone coach at the time and was considering going to Ohlone. He was actually recruiting me pretty hard, but I also, wanted to have a choice, and I did go to Coach Botelho and basically begged him to take me, and I'm so glad that he did that. One of the best ways that I can sum up how I feel about Coach Botelho and my junior college experience was a letter that I came across that I wrote to Coach Botelho when I was done playing for him. And I don't even know if he remembers the letter, but I'm just going to read the letter. Coach Botelho, you are a basketball genius. Throughout your coaching career, you have pieced together an offensive system that can make an average player good and a good player great. You are a proven winner, and you taught your players how to be winners. For that, I will forever be grateful. I learned a lot of great lessons from you in my 3 years at Chabot. Playing for you was a great journey, and I will never forget the experience. You have had a great impact on my life. You solidified my desire to become a coach, and my only hope is that I have the same impact on the kids that I coach. Thank you for the great memories. I will never forget them or where I came from. Sincerely, Tony Amundsen. So thank you, Coach, for coming. Coach always did a great job of taking care of all of his players. And one of the things that he did, I don't know if a lot of the junior college coaches do that today, but he handled all of our schedules. He made sure we had the right classes so that we could transfer on and move on to the 4-year schools. So he would take each one of us into his office and map out our schedules for the 3 years that I was there, and for the 2 years maybe for some of the other players. But he went above and beyond to make sure that his players were going to be able to move on, and I'm extremely grateful for that. One of the ways that you kind of know it, that you make it as a coach, is when players do impersonations of their coach. And Coach Botelho has a very distinct personality. Now, I wasn't one of the good ones at doing it, but we had some teammates that were very, very good at it. And probably the best when I was there was Pat Watson. And we would be in the hotel rooms on tournament trips, and we would just be rolling laughing when each person would do their famous imitation of Coach Botelho. So again, just a lot of great memories, and thank you, Coach Botelho. I was very fortunate to have 3 unbelievable coaches in my life, and because of the success we had at Chabot and the success I had as a player and a student, I was being recruited by a few Division I schools. With Coach Botelho's help and guidance, I ended up choosing University of the Pacific in Stockton. I got to play for a Hall of Fame coach in Bob Thompson, and he was an amazing coach, and I'll tell you, it was a great decision that I made, because I thought he was a great person, great coach, and he also puts his players in a really good position to be successful, and I had a great 2 years there, so thank you to Coach Bob Thompson as well. Lastly, I would like to thank the California Community College system. I honestly do not know where I would be at today if I didn't have that option coming out of high school. I was 6 feet tall and weighed 150 pounds my senior year in high school. I graduated at 17 years old. I was a decent high school player, making first team all conference. There were no 4-year schools that wanted me at that time. Community college basketball gave me an opportunity to continue my education and my basketball playing career. That opened up so many other doors for me, and that is why I'm here today. So thank you to the California Community College system for that as well. There are many reasons why a student athlete may not be able to go to a 4-year school out of high school. What I love is that it gives them an opportunity, if they love the game and they want to be a student, to continue on and continue to play. And I'm forever grateful for that. Thank you very much.
Okay, and now, our last inductee, to be presented by our